Hey everyone, this is the Cajun Gamer Guild with episode 3, 4 of The Last Plague Blight. I'm going to continue off where we left. We had just made the clay brick kiln and also the mud brick kiln. And I explained to you guys why it's better to just go right for the big one right away. So you can start firing off some of the larger molds and or jars, pots, etc. So today we are going to fire up the few bigger ones that we've made, but we are also going to go for a little bit of a spin because we need to get on to our metalworking today. All right. And it says in order to do that, we need a crucible furnace. So, before we go taking off, we are also going to work on getting chamomile flowers. I already have a few, and they're already put away. But we are going to go out and grab some more, because you're going to need quite a few of those as well during your gameplay. I'm just going to make, before I leave, with the rest of the clay that I have, a whole bunch of clay bricks. So how many do I want to make? I have one already on the ground. I'm going to need a bloomery, which is going to take 20. I'm going to need a crucible furnace, which is 15, so that's 35. I'm going to definitely need a hearth furnace, so 45 total. And let's see here. I don't remember if there's anything else. I think that's probably going to be good for the clay bricks. So 20, 35, 45. 45 bricks. And it seems to me that that sounds about right, because I believe it's 65 total with the clay brick kiln. So that's what we need to get. We have one made. I don't have enough clay to make 45, but we're going to make what we can, just so we can fire up as many as we can all at once. Alright, so while they're cooking today though, I'm going to run around the field, try and find some plants, specific ones, the chamomile plants, and I'll explain to you what they do today, if you don't already know. Alright, so there's my clay brick that I already have that's done. I'll have to make a stockpile of that. Oh, put this on fast mode, sorry. I believe we are midday on day 3 right now. Also, we're going to have to go out and look for some copper, some tin today. Try and get some nails made. Alright, so, not craft. We want to place the cooked brick down in a stockpile. You can only place the bricks down if they are already fired up. So, here we're going to fill up the rest of the space with as many bricks as it'll hold, which is quite a few, as you can see. Basically almost all the bricks that I was able to make, I was able to fit in there. So we need some kindling, we need some tinder. So we will come and grab a few of those. We have to make sure the fire doesn't go out. 3 hours left. We're good there for a little bit. Alright. Pine cones, put that in, ignite that. I only put 5 charcoal for now. That'll last us an hour and 23 minutes. That'll definitely be enough to get rid of all these, and probably the extra 4, I would say. So I am going to put some more firewood on the fire before we go running around the world. But I'm going to go cut myself a tree. I'm not going to bother using what I already have stockpiled for that. Alright, I have to cut another large tree. It's not like I will not use it. Almost walked under it the wrong way. Huffing and puffing. Just gonna be careful for a second just in case a coyote comes around. Collect all the stuff in the area right quick while I'm regaining a little bit of stamina. Well, sometimes you're gonna see the pathing in this game is not amazing. He'll climb all over the place, start cutting a tree, back off. See? You'll see keeps backing off. And it's just a pathing issue. It's trying to walk somewhere, and then if it can't get there, it backs off a little bit, and then it stops what you were trying to do. So just be aware of those little things. You'll figure it out after a while. It's not a game breaker by any stretch, but just a little bit of a pain in the butt sometimes. Alright, we got a bunch of logs here. I like to stand them up, even if I don't cut them all right now. I just like to stand them up because it just makes it easier to see them when I try and find them at a later time if I don't take them all right now. And I'm not planning on taking these ones all right now. I'm just going to take maybe one of the thick logs. That's all I need. So, because I have plenty of firewood stacked, I just don't want to use it all right yet. 4. Alright. I want to try and keep that stack there because you're going to find that sometimes it rains for a long time. Sometimes you get surrounded by animals. It's just how the game works. And you're not going to want to run out and go grab the firewood at that point. You want to use the stuff that's right next to your camp. So I like to save myself at least a full stack at all times. Alright, let's... Oh, we can't add that, but we can add this. Perfect. And that should be plenty for now. We'll cook up some water, and we're going to make sure we check on our clay before we go too far, because that first batch might already be done. Let's see. 41 minutes left. Yes. All the bricks are done. And so is the jar. Oh, I can't carry anymore. So you'll see I have quite a bit of stuff on me here. Now let's go put all of this stuff in a stockpile. As long as we have enough room to fit the 4 bricks in here that we've not fired up yet. And so we'll do that just to make sure. And we'll grab what else we can take. Stack that. And I don't know why I'm walking around that, but it's not really necessary, I guess. Alright, and we might as well take this jar. And we are going to place down this saw. It's a saw mold. So I'm just going to put that right there. And this is how you're going to make saws. You're going to start off the game with a bronze saw. You can upgrade it to a steel saw. Not necessary. The bronze saw, as long as it's sharp, will do just, you'll be fine with that. There's no point in upgrading it to a steel one. But if you want to, again, totally up to how you want to play the game. Alright, I'm just going to get rid of all this other stuff that's on me. And then we are going to go for a little run. See what we can't find out there. I'm going to also put this jar on the ground. I don't need to carry it around with me. I like to keep this. You're probably going to end up with a bunch of jars by the end of your gameplay. Some people get jugs. Jugs are huge. I mean gigantic. And they carry a ton of liquid. But you can't use them to cook. And all they can be used for is to put them on the ground and fill them with water. And to be honest with you, I'm so close to the lake, I don't bother with that. It's just, there's no point. I can just boil up a new batch of water in a few few minutes, and so I never usually bother doing the jug thing. If you live further away, yeah, you're probably going to want jugs, alright, if you're further away from a water source, but I don't see the need, so I don't do it. Okay, alright, let me just get rid of some of this stuff. We don't need any dirt. We have a tiny bit of clay left on us. We'll get rid of these pine cones, the leaves, and that tiny bit of clay. I don't think I have a pile made. We have mud, but we're going to keep it because we are going to need more. And I know it's only 6 grams, but we're just going to keep it anyway. Alright, so it looks like our inventory is free. I'm going to repair up these 2 spears that are a little bit damaged, just in case we'd run across something out there that we have to fight off. And a forged steel axe. We can repair that with our sandstone chunk, so we might as well. We're going to do that. Up to 50%, so it'll only go up a tiny bit, but it's better than nothing. Or that was our hatchet, sorry. Or no, that was not our hatchet, that was our steel axe. So yeah, it only went up to 50%. And that's good for now. So this should be finished. We'll grab our 4 bricks and stack them. We're going to build the crucible kiln here in a few minutes. But for now, we're going to run out and we are going to grab 15 chamomile flowers, okay? So, as you can see, out in the field area, like the plains, you're going to see a ton of plants. I know we've already discussed it. So it's only going to take you a few minutes to find the 15 that you need, and it updates your quest. While I'm out here, I could pick up some dandelion, but I'm not going to, because I want to focus just on chamomile for right now. And I'm going to show you why. Because the next part of the tutorial is going to tell you to dry out 15 chamomile flowers. In this game, you can use plants for quite a few different things. And mostly the recipes, sometimes you can eat them straight up, like blueberries. You can crush blueberries up into drink, like juice, alright? Or you can cook with certain things. Garlic, you can actually craft into cloves, and you can use those cloves to add with salt and meat, and it's going to give you way more food value if you do it that way. Okay, that's one of the recipes. Chamomile, on the other hand, you cannot cook with directly. You have to dry it out, just like the game is telling you to do. And that's your hint that from now on, if you ever want to use the chamomile, you must dry it out first. And the easiest way to do that is to put it in your fire pit. There's a little area off to the side, and I'll show you when we get back. And that area says dry out items. And so you just put all your chamomile in there. And when you do, it will start to dry out way quicker than if it's just on your body, for instance. Because right now, even though it's in my backpack, it is drying out. If you hover your mouse over it, it says 6% dried, 8% dried. So the first stuff I picked up is 9% dried now. The stuff I just picked up is only 1% dry. It will take a while it's in your backpack, but it will be possible to do. It just takes a long time. So we'll collect a little. I'm not going to collect a full backpack of this or anything, but we're just going to pick up a little bit because you make tea with this, like I said earlier. What kind of tea? Well, this one here is one that you're going to probably make quite a bit of if you're a little risky in your gameplay, if you like to fight off animals, because you're going to take damage. Also, when you drink the tea that gets rid of the blight, that tea does so much damage to you over time. It's not a huge amount, but it is damage. And if you've already fought off a couple animals and you're starting to get a little low on your hit points, all you have to do is go to sleep, which is a complete waste of your day if you just woke up in the morning. So you might not want to do that. That's one way of healing your hit points. And you're not going to heal much. but you'll heal like 20 maybe. Um, or you can make chamomile tea. All you have to do is boil up water, add for a bowl, which is 200 milliliters. By the time you boil down the bowl, you're going to only end up with 140 mils. You can see it right there. That's what's left. And with 140 milliliters, you add 3 stacks of 15 dried chamomile, and that will be a strong chamomile tea. And that will give you quite a few hit points back. It'll probably give you, I don't know, 15 to 20 back each time. So the only thing is, and like I told you guys earlier, was if you cannot drink the liquids because your liquid bar is full, you'll have no way of healing those hit points back. So always remember that when you go to fill up on your liquids bar, do I need to drink a chamomile tea? If I do, maybe that's what I should drink first. Do I need to drink a Blight tea? If I do, maybe I should drink that first. Alright, so those are the 2 teas that I carry around with me all the time once I start making my my leather canteens. Alright, but until I get to that point, I'm just going to keep my chamomile right here. So it says heat or dry items. I'm going to fill this basically up to what you see. I'm not going to bother filling it right up to the top. This is plenty. And I'm not going to take it out and put it in my chest because that's just going to waste some room there. You can leave it here, but once you do take it out of here after it's dry, you cannot put the dry ones back in. So just be aware of that once you take it. So if I was to just take all this out once it's dry, I have to store it in my chest after that, or use it into tea. Alright, so I do need water right now. I'm not low on hit points, so I'm not going to be making a chamomile tea right yet. So I'm going to just drink up this water and we'll make some more. Alright, now that we've done that, we have plenty of wood on the fire. We are going to make our... we only need 20 of these. I'm just going to take the entire stack because it's just quicker than taking out 1 brick at a time. And we're going to make our crucible furnace. Some people might shoot for the bloomery first, but the bloomery also needs the hearth, the furnace to work. Alright, well it doesn't really, but it does. In order to make new tools, you need both. Because you need to turn your iron chunks into, I believe what's called, well, I can't remember exactly what they're called, but I will show you guys that in a second. But for now, I'll explain the other part in a moment. We're going to make the crucible furnace, so we're going to place that down. And I do want this crucible furnace near my molds, okay? Now, if you look down at the bottom, it's just a round crucible, so rotating it is not going to matter for this. I believe it looks the same. It doesn't matter which way it's facing. So I'm just going to put it right here. And we are also going to need some of this mud mortar that we've created. I believe we have enough for it. We'll fill that up and we'll build this. Take a few seconds. And now we are ready to cook. You'll see we need a crucible in order for this to work. We're going to need some charcoal fuel. We're going to need some ignition sources. And so we're going to do that right now. I believe I made a crucible earlier. And I think I put it in the chest. Or no, I did not. So let's do this. We're going to start a stockpile. Actually, I remember what I did with the crucible now. I just left it on... I left it in the mud brick kiln because I was just going to let it run out and finish up my crucible. So that's where I put it. Normally, you're just going to keep your crucible once it's done, and it is. You're just going to keep it right where it belongs. The only time you're going to take it out of here is when it's full of hot molten metal. You're going to pour it into your molds, either one, whichever one you plan on using, and then you're just going to put it right back in there to keep it hot, because this will hold 1,000 milliliters, and you can see it on your screen there. 1,000 milliliters of molten metal. You can make copper, straight copper, And if you do that, it's just going to turn into a lump of copper. You can't really do anything with copper except make copper sheets. It's the only thing you can make with it. The other thing you're going to make, and you're going to make a bunch of this, is bronze. Bronze requires 4-to-1 mixture of copper to tin. So if you put 10 milliliters or 10 small chunks, small pieces of copper, you're going to put I guess it's 8 to 2, I believe. 8 to 2, sorry, which is 4-to-1. Yeah. So 4 pieces of copper to 1 piece of bronze, and that will give you 10 milliliters, 100 milliliters of molten bronze. So usually how I do that is I will put in a whole stack. I'll fill it right up. I'm going to put 1,000 milliliters every time, which is 8 pieces of copper. And I know that sounds a little confusing. So you'll find pieces of copper and you'll find small bits of copper. Basically, you break down the copper, and let's see if I have some. I'm pretty sure I did not find any yet because I kind of skipped over that part in this run. I do not have any, so we are going to go find some here in a moment anyway, and I will just explain it to you then. How's that sound? So let's get rid of this mud mortar, and we're going to go for a small little walk since we have plenty of time left in the day. Okay, so we did find a cave. The cave is basically directly south from us. So we'll go for a little walk that way. And in that cave, I don't have a torch. Could I make a torch? Heck yes, I could. I've walked around in enough caves. I know where not to go. There are some times where you're going to see in caves pathways that you can fall down in or you can jump down in, and you will not be able to get back out. So if you don't have a save game, you could be stuck in there. That would not be good. So if you see here at the cave entrance, we do have a copper-rich rock, and around it you have a bunch of small copper ore pieces. So we're going to collect all those, and I do not want the large stone, so I'm just going to get rid of it. But I'm not going to get rid of it here, because later I'm going to want to mine that rock up and collect all the copper from it. You are going to need a ton of copper. You're going to need a ton of tin. I say a ton. You'll need quite a bit. So, inside the cave, you're going to find spotted red mushrooms almost every time. You're almost always going to find copper-rich rocks. Alright, and I can see them from afar. It is light enough that I can see. And 99% of the time, you're going to find iron-rich rocks, which are also good. So, you'll notice, I got my mouse. I'm trying to find stuff around it. I can't see anything around it, but there was a little bit. So the easiest way to find stuff here, because you can't really see it very well, is just to hold your T button down. But don't go too far because it's trying to collect the mushrooms as well. So I found another few small pieces. I found 1 piece of iron. I found a white mushroom cap, which I'm just going to throw away. And again, now I can explain it to you. So we have small pieces of ore, which are stackable up to 10. I have a few on me here. 1, I think. That's all I have on me. So, or no, I don't. I have 21 on me. Oh, it's because they're here. I was going to say, I don't see 21, but I was carrying them in my hand. So I have 2 stacks of 10, and I have 1 piece. So 21 pieces of copper. And I also have just plain old copper ore. So these pieces of copper ore can be broke down with a rock. You hammer them down, and it creates 10 each. So each one of these is equal to 10. So to make a full batch in your crucible, you're going to want 8 of these copper ores, or 80 of these small pieces. And for the 80, you're going to need 20 tin ore pieces, or 2 of the regular tin ore, which you can also find in big rocks like this. Okay, these are stackable, so that's the good part about getting these. You can collect as many as you want and just make yourself a little stockpile when you get back, which is super gonna help you. Or otherwise, if you turn them into pieces, so I do not turn these into pieces until I need to use them, you will have to store these in your chest, which does take up room. So that's why I try and keep them into just the copper ore or the tin ore as long as I can. So we're going to keep roaming around the cave a little bit, see if we can't find a little bit more copper. And if we find some more iron, like I'm going to see right here, I'm probably going to find a few more pieces here. We're going to pick it up. Now you'll notice there's no iron here. Very, very strange. Normally, every single one of these iron-rich rocks is going to have stones, iron ore pieces around it, and for whatever reason, this cave doesn't like me very much by the looks, and I'm not finding too much. I only found one piece, and even this piece, again, nothing. Weird, very strange. So I can keep going down. Anything here? Oh, I found another one. Wow, okay. So 2 pieces so far. That's not a very big find. I picked up some brown mushrooms. Don't need those. Alright, so I'm just going to get rid of them. My goodness, 2 pieces of iron so far. That's not a very big haul. So we're just going to keep looking around. Alright. See if we can't find some more. Like I say, there's some water here. I can tell. But that's all there is down here. There's only one other place to look. So this cave, very close to our base. Until we get a pickaxe, absolutely useless. We got 2 chunks of iron, which is a joke. You can't even make anything with 2 pieces of iron. You'll see right here on the wall, there's this thing called railgar deposit. Those are going to be used later. You'll be able to collect those with a pickaxe and crush them down into powder. Okay. Oh, there is another branch I just noticed. So we're going to go take a look down here. Maybe we'll find some more. Oh, I found another piece of iron. That's awesome. You need to collect at least 4 pieces of iron to make a hammer and 4 pieces of iron to make a chisel head. Those are the first 2 items I make in this game with steel. Some people shoot right for the pickaxe. I go for those 2 just because you'll be able to find plenty of iron on the ground, and now the cave is definitely producing. I just picked up a crap ton more iron. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces. So that is much, much better. I'm just going to get rid of the small stone. I'm going to make a stockpile. And I'm going to get rid of the large stone. I'll make another stockpile. And now that cleans me out so that I can carry more. You are going to get overweight if you continue doing this. Which is, since I'm so close, I don't care. I want to be overweight. I'm going to just jog back here in a few minutes carrying all this iron because it is good to have if you can find it this early. I know I came for copper, but it's not necessary that I found copper. I'm happy that I found a bunch of iron. So you'll see here I found a big chunk, a big rock of cassiterite, it's called, I believe. That's how you pronounce it. And around this is where you're going to find the tin ore. Alright, there's none. I just hit my T button. It's not collecting anything. So there's none right now. I will need my pickaxe for that. Yeah, so we could create the pickaxe head first on this run, just to make it a tiny bit easier to explain things and to advance my game. But right now I only have 10 pieces, and to make your pickaxe head you need 12 pieces. So I have to weigh in my mind, is it worth trying to find 2 more pieces to make a pickaxe head, or do I go for the chisel? And the chisel, the reason why I go for that quickly is because with that you're able to cut down a piece of sandstone rich rock and turn it into a grinding wheel. Now, I say that. The only way you can do that is if you have a pickaxe. So, did I confuse you a little bit? Probably. But remember that cabin I found earlier? Well, there's many cabins. Well, I say many. There's chances that you could find 3, 4 of those cabins in your run, in your playthrough. And if you find one, sometimes they have a pickaxe in them. And these pickaxes are beat up. And like I said in a previous episode, you cannot repair pickaxes. So basically, when you find these pickaxes in the cabins, they're absolutely crap. They're junk. They're usually 99% wore out. But that 99% wore out pickaxe is enough for you to mine a chunk off of some of that sandstone, and that will get you your large piece, which will give you your grinding stone. Once you have that, you can repair all of your tools to, like, I believe 70-75%, which makes them, and actually some of them you can repair to full. And you're going to see that that's going to help you a huge amount. So, but for this run, I think I am going to try and find another node of iron ore. And we are just going to go straight for the pickaxe this time, just so I can show you how that's done. And the game is actually going to try and get you to do that. And you'll see that here coming up. It's asking me to collect 60 pieces of small copper pieces, and it's also asking me to collect 10 small tin pieces. So right now I only have 21. I'm going to put that away because I don't want to carry that around with me. And I am also going to put the other things away that I've collected along the way. Now, let's move the quest along for the chamomile flowers. It's saying dry out 15. At this point, all of these flowers have been dried out. You can see they're all finished. There's no more percentile figure on it. We can add this to the fire. So all I'm going to do is pull out 15. That's it. Bam, done. And now it's going to tell me, well, why don't you make some chamomile tea? Since I have water already brewed up, I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so we're just going to put it in. We're going to cook it up. I absolutely do not have to drink this. And to be honest with you, this is kind of, so by following this, I'm going to waste a little bit of this. Because I really did not need to use this right now. I'm pretty much full health. I only lost 6 hit points. And in order to use this bowl now, I need to empty it. So, I can A, dump it out. B, drink it, but I can only drink it, well, I could drink the whole thing, I guess. It is going to give me liquid. So I'm going to do that, but it wasted the 15 chamomile because I didn't really need it. I don't have any way to store it right now. So, and you can't place a bowl on the ground. All you can do is drop it, and when you drop things, everything in it goes away. You're dumping it out. If you put it in your backpack, it goes away. The only way I could do this is to put this in my offhand or my main hand and carry it around with me until I use it, which is complete waste of your space. You can't hold a two-handed item like a axe or a pickaxe, anything like that. So this soon in the game, making that tea was kind of a waste of my time, but I had to do it in order to advance. Alright, so that's why I did it, just to show you guys. Alright, so next it's telling me to extract 50 grams of salt from dandelion roots and put it in the fire pit. Alright, and that's basically telling you go collect dandelion roots, put it in the fire pit, and you're going to get salt from it. We already did that part if you don't remember. So I already have way more than 50 grams of salt. I have garlic cloves, I believe, that I picked up. Or not garlic cloves, but just garlic bulbs. And I do not have a rabbit meat. So since I'm pretty hungry, I'm basically 50%, I'm going to take one of the garlic bulbs. I'm going to take my salt, but not until I get a rabbit, just in case it rains while I'm out here. I don't want to lose any of that salt. But we're going to go up here and we're going to check our snare. And we're going to see that, look, we have another rabbit caught. So we're going to kill it. And we're going to move this snare because it's kind of in the way. Just move it over a little bit more. And I can't remember, I don't know which rabbit I just killed. It's not that one, it's this one. So we're going to harvest that meat. And you know what? We're going to harvest this fat as well, right? And the other one does not have fat on it, I don't think. Oh yes, it does. Still in pretty good shape too. We're going to harvest the fat, and I'm going to show you why. So let's go back to the fire pit. We're going to rip our garlic clove apart. So you craft, and it's going to give you 6 cloves of garlic. All right, and you'll see there's a little bar on it that this goes bad over time, but it does last you a little bit of time in the game. So that's why when I see garlic, I try and leave it in the ground unless I need to use it. The recipe for this is basically straight what the tutorial is telling you. It's telling you collect 1 rabbit. It's telling you collect 50 grams of salt. All right. So I'm going to put 50 grams inside my backpack. And it's telling you to put 4 cloves of garlic. But if you want to play around with these recipes, you can save yourself a little bit of resources. You'll see it says very bland. So I'm just going to add another clove. Now it's saying flavorful, and if you hover over it, it's saying 39 food I'm getting now. And it's 1 less clove of garlic than what it's asking me for. Let's add the extra one, see how much it adds. 46. So it's definitely worth adding the extra clove of garlic. But with other recipes, you're going to see that sometimes you can manipulate. So let's say if I let's take some of this salt away and see, it was 46. Let's take out 5 salt and just put 45 and see if that changes. Did not change. So I just saved myself 5 grams of salt. You might think that's not much, but I know that anywhere where you can cut a corner, you want to cut a corner. Let's take out another 5 and see what that does. Did it change? Did not change. So I just saved myself 10 grams of salt versus what the recipe is telling me to put in. That's a pretty darn big savings. That's 20%. I just saved 20% of my salt just like that. All right. So it's definitely worth messing around with the recipes. You might even be able to go down a little more, but I think it's going to go down in points at this point. So I'm just going to be happy with my 20% savings. All right. I'm going to cook that up, and I'm going to put that 10 grams of salt away. And now it's going to cook, and we are going to have a nice tasty bunny, because normally when you eat a rabbit, I believe it only gives you, I can't remember, 28 maybe, something like that. So basically I'm gaining 18 extra food by adding all the spices and the salt and the garlic. So when this is done, we'll be good to go. The animal fat. Alright, while we're waiting, we're going to collect us a stick, just a regular stick, just one. I believe that's what the recipe requires. We're going to need a couple pieces of rope. I think it's a couple, so we're just going to bring out a stack, and we are going to craft. We are going to go down here, and we are going to craft us a torch. It takes 2 animal fat, 1 stick, and 2 rope. And like I told you in a previous episode, you don't need to have 15 torches. 1 is plenty. Don't keep it in your offhand until you need to use it. But once you light it up, you're going to keep it there. Okay? And I just keep it on me because it doesn't take up a ton of room. And you never know when you might run across the cave and you want to actually see what's inside of it. So it's totally up to you. I like to keep mine on me. You don't have to if you don't want to. Do your thing. I'm going to get rid of this copper ore. Put that over here next to the stones. And we are going to eat this bunny. Okay? Fill up your hunger bar to 75%. Fill up your thirst bar to 75%. That's what it's telling me to do. We're going to eat this rabbit. It's going to definitely finish off the first bar. We'll use our bowl and we'll drink up a little bit of water here. And I just heard the wolves howling, so it's definitely turned nighttime. Alright, and it's just about time to hit the hay and end this next episode. Alright, so I'm going to grab this wood. We're going to put this in the fire pit. We cannot add it. I'm just going to take one out. That should be enough to add. And put the last one back. So yes, we are going to end this episode here. Thank you very much. Tomorrow will be day 4, and I believe, according to this, we're going to have a visitor. He's going to have a little chat with me. He's going to, well, I'm not going to spoil it. You'll see tomorrow. We will drink this water. I'm going to go to sleep, wake up tomorrow, and I will end the episode. I thank you guys very, very much for watching. I appreciate everything. Please like and subscribe if you guys don't mind. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very, very much for everything.